your first time here to the Capitol Hill Jazz Jam, let me see your hands. If it's your first time, right here, right there, okay. And in the back, okay. So, we have a game, this is great. After 10 years, every week we have a new room full of newcomers, which means somehow the word's getting out. I don't know how you guys find out, but you guys show up. And we got folks that come from all around the world. And we like to recognize those folks who have come the furthest. So it's our icebreaker game of the week every Wednesday. And this game has a prize at the end. Whoever has come the furthest wins a prize. Now I always say that don't feel like you can't participate because you're not too far away. Maybe Arlington is the furthest somebody has come this week, or Adams Morgan, or Capitol Hill, so don't feel ashamed to shout out your neighborhood, even if you heard someplace that's further. Also, but this must be where you most recently came from. So if you were born in Brazil, but you've been living in DC for the past 5 years, you gotta claim your neighborhood in DC. No more Brazil, all right? All right, so let's get started. I saw some hands right here. Yes.
We are Italian.
There you go. Which city?
We are from Tuscany.
Tuscany. Oh, wow. Show some love for our friends from Tuscany, everybody. Jeez. You know, I try to start with the people here, and then the international people just jump out there. That's all right. It's all right. That's all right. Maybe not. Like I said before, that's why I said at the beginning, don't feel ashamed. They came from Italy. Maybe you came further. Who knows? All right. I saw some other hands here. Yes. Where are you joining us from?
Bellevue. Alexandria.
Alexandria. Show some love for Alexandria in the house. You know, you would have been winning if I didn't start with them first. It's okay, though. All right, I saw some other hands, yes? Wait a minute, this is not your first time here. There you go, all right. So, I saw some other hands. Don't, in the back. Tinleytown, show some love for Tinleytown in the house. And I saw another hand, yes, right there. Foggy Bottom, show some love for Foggy Bottom in the house. Yes, over here. Herndon, Virginia. All right. So some love for Herndon in the house. Yes. Richmond, Virginia in the house. Wow, you would have won. You would have won if it hadn't been for the Italians. It's okay. So for coming so far, I'll show some love for all our newcomers, everybody. Now, for coming so far, I know you're from Italy, so you guys got, we offer a drink of your choice. Now, here's the thing. Though. Even after 10 years, I know I look rich, with the suit and everything, but no, I'm not. This is not a rich operation. So you can have your choice of, we have a great selection of beers, we have a really great selection of wines, red, white. Don't worry about a year. Don't worry about a region or a country, that sort of thing, okay? They all taste good, okay? But a drink of your choice, just not any up here. The top shelf, none of those, none of the middle, just about around here. There you go, okay? Tell your server, work it out between you, can split it, get whatever, we can work it out, okay? Once more for our friends from Italy, everybody. Before we go back and tell all your friends to come over here and check out some jazz. All right, so we're about to get started. Now, after 10 years, we always start the same way. We start off with a blues. It's just a nice way to get going on and for the jam session. I find it more important today to play the blues than ever. And so we're going to start with a blues by the great Sonny Rollins. This is Sunny Moon for Two. Thank you. All right, so you've had an opportunity to hear this band, and some of you are getting a flyer that's circulating right now with their name, but I'm going to take the time to introduce them now. Now that you've heard them enough, and you should know, for the past 10 years, I try to do my best of not keeping the same band up here every week, but circulating as many musicians as I can through this space. As you see, we have an international audience. We have folks from all around, and so I want you guys all to experience all the great musicians we have here. One musician you can find with me every Wednesday, though, here, post-COVID, on the guitar. The gentleman, I almost made it there last night, but I caught up. But he runs his own, he plays all around. He's playing at different places. But he started his own Tuesday night jam session at a place called Davino's? Yeah, Davino Restaurant over Woodley Park on Tuesday nights. You should check that out from 7 to 10. You can find him all around and look him up on the internet and follow him on Instagram. His Instagram is on the paper. Put your hands together for Dave Manley on guitar. And on bass, this gentleman moved here from Florida some years ago, and he's been working quite a bit. We're glad to have him back here playing. He had a little injury that kept him from playing for a little bit, but he's back playing, sounding strong. And you can catch him all around. Follow him on Instagram as well. Put your hands together for DeLorean Fullington on bass. And on drums, we got glad to have him. We almost had him here last week, but we got him here this week. And he's a fantastic drummer. Been playing all around. You can find him with different groups. You should also follow him as well. But I don't know what your Instagram is. What's your Instagram?
Paul Jung Jazz.
Paul Jung Jazz. Put your hands together for Paul Jung on drums. So we have a different theme. From week to week, month to month, I try to have a different theme, make things a little bit interesting for the jam session. This week we're going to celebrate the life and the career of and he's not passed away, so of the great Herbie Hancock. Any of you guys know Herbie Hancock?
Yes.
Some of you? Okay, just a few. He turns 85 this week, and and considering we've been losing so many great jazz legends, we stated to continue to celebrate the ones that are with us. And so we're going to play some of his music. Some of these songs you may even know. He did an album. I don't know where Ben is to help me fact check, but dedicated to the sea. and they were all sea-themed references on this album for the songs that he wrote. And one of these songs we're going to play, I think this is the title track of the album. This is entitled Maiden Voyage. Enjoy.
Oh, okay. Check me
Just like once more for Dave Manley on guitar, DeLorean Fullington on bass, Paul John on drums. All right, so as I said, we are celebrating the career of the great Herbie Hancock. Can I use this? And he wrote lots of music. He's continuing to write music, but you know, it's often said that your hits are when you're young. Typically, that's it. After the first 10 years, but that doesn't mean your career is over. And he's continuing to play quite a bit. Both Dave and I have had the opportunity of performing with him, playing with him before. And this next one I'm going to do is dedicated also to the sea. This is a tune entitled "Eye of the Hurricane." One, two. Paul Jung, everybody on the drums. DeLorean Quilton on bass. Dave Manley on guitar. Alright, we're going to continue with one more Herbie Hancock tune before we start to get to the jam session part. Are y'all enjoying the music so far? Alright.
Strolling. No. Drifting.
There you go. Okay, here we go. Something like that. We play so many tunes, we just forgot the daggone name of the tune. We can play it. We can name on it. So this is another Herbie Hancock tune, reminding you that he wrote thousands of songs, and he continues to write and produce other people's music, and he's even ventured into hip hop. I mean, well, he started with hip hop. Let's not forget. He started with rocket back in the '80s, but he's continued to be supportive of rap music, whereas some jazz musicians are very conservative and they dismiss the entire genre. But Herbie Hancock has always been open to lots of different styles of music. I think it may have to do a lot with his just view on culture. He's a Buddhist, so he's a very kind of different view on culture. Anyway, was Miles a Buddhist?
No.
No. Oh yeah. No, Miles was not no Buddhist. No, he's not. He was into Buddha. The ism part. All right, so this is Herbie Hancock's Drifting. Enjoy. Dave Manley on guitar. Okay, my name is Herb Side. And welcome to the Jazz Show. I'm trying to make it to the top any way I know. Even if that means rapping with my saxophone. I ain't taking no bread at the Jazz Show, so I started rapping just to increase my cash flow. I make it happen with my sax like saxophone. And my flow is red hotter than Tabasco. I need more than 2 bills before I pass, so I capitalize and never get no cash flow. You don't take the pressure, don't ask yo. The pressure smoking thicker than that last show. If my rhymes and my music and my skills, yo. You wanna find me, you can catch me at the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me, you can catch me at the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, throw a little cash yo. At the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me well, but you can find me in succession. One through these changes, when I'm flexing. Have to find a balance, but that's what it was lesson. Play the beat, get up and you want me up with the sentence. Schools out of food, I eat these different breakfasts. I can tell you this like a chainsaw on TV. Rock ball, with me, like C-Boat. This is such a spit up, working after that. You can tell it's professional. You think I'm privileged? I know I'm blessed. Not worried, not stressed at the end of the day. When we finish up the list, one thing is for sure, and that's the not the best. Don't get yourself cut contact, but you can feel on the stage and go toe to toe. Probably get pussy with all the shit you know. But it's not about your baby, it's about my book. It's all of you time for now. Catch me at the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me, you can catch me at the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, spin a little cash yo. At the Jazz Show, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me, you can catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find all, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me low, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me, catch me at the Jazz Show. At the Jazz Show, you wanna catch the Jazz Show. You wanna find a hawk, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find me, catch me at the Jazz Show. You wanna find Show where? Find us, catch us, jazz show. Find us, catch us, jazz show. Find us, catch us, jazz show. At the jazz show where? Find us, catch us, jazz show. Find us, catch us, jazz show. Find us, catch us, jazz show. At the jazz show where? Circle up the band, ladies and gentlemen, Paul John on the drums. And Lord, of course, you know, please hand in the sound, my name is Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, I was about to go ahead and open the jam session. Before we do, we have some phenomenal jazz jam rules that we want to go over. So we can have a good night, a smooth night, no hiccups, and we can all enjoy ourselves. Thank y'all for coming. So if you would please oblige me, everybody repeat after me. Everybody say rule 1. Okay, rule 1 is very simple and plain, which is be kind, be mindful of each other as you move about this space. Be respectful as you're talking to one another. Shouldn't really have to say that, but in this strange world today, we kind of have to keep that going on. So, is that cool with everybody? Yeah. Everybody say rule 2. All right. Rule 2 is a listening room. It's not a huge room, and so a conversation right there in the middle of the room can easily make its way onto the stage and be disturbing to the musicians sitting in, but it can also be disturbing to the person right next to you if you're talking, and they're just here to sit and listen. So please be mindful of those around you and keep your conversation at a minimum, at your table. If there's something really important you got to get out, go to the back, very back, or outside, or send a text. Everybody say rule 3. All right. Everybody say, hey, Philip. All right. So this is Philip. This is the 5th member of the band, ladies and gentlemen. And we greatly appreciate your support. We know there's a cover charge, we don't get to the content of what it is, but we appreciate every bit of support. For those that do support us, we have a tradition here where we always acknowledge their support with a little applause, like a light applause. So let's say somebody's going to put in, I don't know, let's say $1,000, right? And so you got the $1,000, you want to put it in like this, you know, practice it, put the 1,000 in like that, that's 1,000. A little applause like that, there you go. Every single time, it helps show our support. And if you don't have cash or American cash, we accept all currencies. Okay, Billy, I'm looking at you. Okay, all right. Don't because you ain't got no American dollars. We'll still take some. You got euros. Euro, definitely take some euros. But if you don't have any of that, we have PayPal and Venmo, both with the same handle at Capital No Jazz. And if you have requests, the song you want us to play tonight, you got a bunch of musicians in the house, we can sure accommodate you. Just write us your song request on the back of our $100 bill. I'll put it right in there. We'll play it for you tonight, for sure. And I think we still have a few t-shirts, Capitol Hill Jazz Jam t-shirts available. We have small available. So if you want to buy a t-shirt, you can do that to support as well. And then lastly, everybody say rule 4. Oh, thank you very much, kind sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Rule 4 is for the musicians in the house. So if you plan to sit in tonight, please sign the sign-up sheet. It's over here tonight. And please put your tune down so we can prepare and put the right band together so we can be organized for this evening. I already see some musicians already ready to go. If you have one special musician in the house, we always keep it up front. I'm gonna tell you what, folks. I got an email today. It was strange. I got an email that said, now, why do musicians have to pay, and where does the money go to at the daggone gym? First of all, it's very expensive, costly to maintain this thing after 10 years. You see, I'm streaming with a phone. I like to have like an actual camera person. I'm doing all the sound myself. So your support goes a long way. We're trying to elevate it even after 10 years. This is a small room, but we can take it across the internet, across the globe. So that's in the future. But with that being said, we have a gentleman here who's been coming for the past 10 years, almost every month, and he always wows us. I'm sure you're going to enjoy him as he comes to the stage to do a couple numbers with the band. Put your hands together for the great Herman the Hawk. Hawkins, ladies and gentlemen, as he makes his way to the stage. And as he makes his way to the stage now, you should also see on that piece of paper that I gave you, this month is Jazz Appreciation Month all around the United States. But here